I'm Alex Williams, Enterprise Writer at TechCrunch here at the Strata Conference, here with Julia Ferraioli, Developer Relations.
Happy to be here.
Glad to see you here.
Yeah.
Julia, you're doing a session today on Google Compute Engine, but I really want to talk with you about what you're seeing now as we're moving more and more development online and how developer relations is changing so much and what the Google perspective is on it. It's not as much technical evangelism anymore.
No. So developer relations at Google is a bit different because we think of it as a two-way street. So we want to engage with as many developers as possible who are using our products so that we can get that feedback and feed it into the product teams to make the developer experience even better. So as we move more and more of our engagement online, we're able to create these scalable programs that make use of Hangouts to do some things like our GDLs, which are Google Developers Live, where we have office hours, Q&A, as well as interviews with external developers who are using our products. And it's a great way to engage with the developer community in a way that can scale as our developer base scales.
What do you see? What kind of change are you seeing in developers themselves as they're, there's so many more of them now? What are some of the dynamics that you're seeing with developers right now?
So the ones that I see are primarily, we have a lot more social coding going on. A lot more people are doing stuff like pair programming. They're going online, they're making use of GitHub, they're getting answers from the community. We see a lot of that just in general for how our developers find answers and resources. It's a lot of crowdsourcing. So what we try to do is make it as easy as possible for everyone to find those resources and share them with each other.
How will new infrastructures like Google Compute or even anything else, how will that change the way developers work? What's that going to do as we move forward?
I like to think that it's going to make collaboration a lot easier because you're no longer working locally only. You've got a shared environment. With Compute Engine, we have like a project level structure so that you can have a team and multiple people can be on the same team and access the resources there. So I think it's you're going to see that developers themselves can scale a lot better because they can make use of more resources than ever.
So you're here at Strata today. Tell me about what you're going to be doing in your session, because as I was hearing you say, it's going to be very much a hands-on.
Yes, so we've created a great end-to-end session on crunching big data with the Google Cloud. So we're using App Engine as our front end and to collect data, both from historical data and real-time data. And then we're going to feed that back into cloud storage. From cloud storage, we're going to access it from cloud storage on Google Compute Engine to do some complex transformations with Hadoop and Pig. And then we're going to take the results and crunch it with BigQuery.
Why are you doing it this way? Is it because people are still trying to get their heads around how to use data to build apps and services?
I think people are looking for new ways to attack the big data problem. We've got our standard toolkits available to us in the data space, but there's still ways that you can scale it better, right? With App Engine, you can make use of the auto-scaling features so that you don't necessarily have to worry about that aspect. With Compute Engine, you have more finer control, and then, of course, with BigQuery, you can make use of Google's infrastructure and how we can massively scale to run fast queries. You don't have to know necessarily right up front what questions to ask. You can do it as an iterative process.
That's a learning process for people to get their heads around, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's like you're not searching for the answer, you're just trying to find more questions in a way.
In a way, that part hasn't changed very much over the years.
Yeah.
You still need to figure that part out.
Yeah, but there's like kind of a different process and methodology people have to think through when they're using these tools, isn't there?
Right.
You don't know what you're going to find.
Right, and part of the big data space is trying to figure out how to massage your data into some type of format that's going to be illuminating, right? So you've got a ton of logs data, say. It's the classic example, right? And you need to find out what trends are happening with your users. Maybe usage patterns, or even rates of error occurrence. And you need to be able to figure out how to track that down. And by iteratively exploring your data, you're able to really dive down into the underlying issues or the underlying patterns to ultimately make your products better.
Thank you very much for taking some time, Julia. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great.